Chapter 4. Remembering Princess. I remember my sister Princess. I remember growing up in middle school. She would write these papers in middle school, a truly artistic and poetic person, but the teacher accused her of plagiarizing. I was there when the teacher accused her of that lie, but I didn't voice a complaint about it. Neither did Princess bring the issue to the attention of my parents. Her work was criticized as being plagiarized and copied from a book. Although she and Joshua were in the same grade, and she studied so much harder than my brother, her grades were lower than his. My sister did all her work by herself, and whatever was in my sister, she gave full expression of it in her writing. She was very free and unrestrained in a good way, and didn't hold back to speak her mind to her friends when the opportunity arose. God did a wonderful thing in her life. When she was a child, my parents admired her grace and elegance, how she walked and interacted with people. When she was in Nigeria, she was marveled at. When she was in England, she attracted friends and made friends easily. She had a beautiful smile. Her friends were made of a pool of different races and ethnicities. Her friends were from Malawi, the Philippines, and England. I didn't have much success in the friend department, so I usually tagged along with my sister and hung out with her friends. She knew how to flow with her group of friends. She remembered their birthdays and things that they were interested in. Commander. My youngest brother, Commander, was the comedian in the family. I remember in London, there was a time he had 25 pence and I had 10 pence. I convinced him my 10 pence was greater than his 25 pence. One time, he tried to use toy money to buy things, but was told it was no good. Eventually, his teacher taught him how to count money and what was real money, so I could no longer trick him in the money department. St. Agnes. I remember our school at St. Agnes. A lot of parents held jobs. There was also friendly competition between moms who ran in running races against other parents. Many of the moms served as chaperones on field trips. I remember thinking the school was always full of parents. A lot of them were lunch ladies. I remember asking someone's mom for money, to which she replied she didn't have. To which she replied she didn't have at the time. I remember her daughter, a close friend of mine, Caroline, scolding me about the matter. I remember when a single father of three girls lived on my block in Washington, D.C. One of the girls would ask my mom for money. I understood they didn't have a mom and never complained to my mom about the matter. It was a beautiful act. At the time, one of my peers at school helped herself to my school lunch. Years later, as I reflect on this, she too was being raised by a single mom and may have had limited resources. I'm thankful for the countless individuals my mom helped throughout the years. As I remember my playmate who scolded me was happy to have me as a friend when I first came from Nigeria. She allowed me to visit her home. I tried on her mom's size 3 shoe and it fit perfectly. I remember her brother was a young adult who worked at a grocery store. I remember the episode when my playmate and our gypsy friend had lice in their hair and how one of the moms had to use a whole bottle of shampoo on the hair to get rid of the lice. They didn't hang out as much after that. I also remember as a kid both girls knocking on my door many times for me to hang out with them. The idea of hanging out would be to walk around the neighborhood and talk as friends do. I wasn't allowed to go, but so much so much feet from my house. God bless them. They took the time to foster friendship with me. I also befriended girls from Malawi. They were cousins. They were very nice to me. I wasn't able to sustain their friendship. I came to the United States and didn't know how to effectively use the postage mail system and make sure the letter had the proper postage. I remember a time that I left this wallet sitting on the bedside desk. I grabbed a 50-pound bill from it. I didn't do anything with it. My aunt knew I took it and asked my dad not to punish me, so I gave the money back. I remember at a young age, I used to read dirty magazines at that young age. It wasn't long before that pornography got a hold of me. It took time and years to be delivered from something I had no business to read and look at. Chapter 5. Princess was such an amazing individual, and even in middle school, when we came to the United States, She had lots of friends.